Tamer Chamma back once again of RotoExperts.com, this time with start sits at the quarterback position for Week 9. And the one and only start I have for you for this upcoming weekend is Mark Sanchez. He's going to be going up against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. And Sanchez had a tough Week 8. He had to battle some wins at the Meadowlands. Was not as accurate as he usually is, threw a couple of interceptions, didn't really rack up the yards, and of course the Jets were shut out, so he didn't get in the touchdown column. I think it's going to be a different story this upcoming weekend, and the big reason why is that he's playing indoors. That's definitely going to help him out a lot. He won't have to deal with any cold weather. He won't have to deal with the wind, something he struggled with in his young career. So I think he'll be able to throw the ball and have some success just because of the climate that he's going to be playing in. Also, he's going up against a Detroit Lions secondary that's not great. It's not bad either, but it's definitely a pass defense that you can move the ball against and have some success against. And also the Detroit Lion offense is pretty good. They're putting up a lot of points. They're definitely a potent offense, and I think that the Jets are going to have to throw the ball and have to move the ball down the field and look to get big plays through the passing game in order to have a chance to win this game. This is not an easy game for them, and they can't just rely on their defense and their running game to try to eke out a win. They're going to have to let Sanchez throw the ball, and I think he's going to have success doing so. So look for him to top 200 yards, have a couple of touchdowns. It should be a good week for Mark Sanchez. I have two sits for you. The first sit is Josh Freeman. He's going to be going up against the Falcons in Atlanta. And Freeman's obviously been very good this year. He's been a surprise at the quarterback position, but I think it's going to be a different story for this upcoming weekend. This is the biggest game that Josh Freeman has ever played in at the NFL level. It's a game against a division rival in Atlanta. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are obviously good this season, so this is a really big game for him, and I think the pressure is going to get to him a little bit in this game. He's going up against a good home team and a hostile crowd in Atlanta, and that's going to lead to some interceptions, some inaccuracies. I don't think you're going to see the normal Josh Freeman that you've seen so far this season. And with a lot of the bye quarterbacks not being that good this week, the guys that are on bye, you have a lot of options at the quarterback position. I don't think you need to rely on Josh Freeman in a tough situation to have a good week for your fantasy football team. So I would put him on the bench. The second guy I would look at to put on your bench this weekend at the quarterback position is Matt Hasselbeck. He's going up against the Giants at home. And Hasselbeck has been better, much better actually, at home than on the road this season. But he really needs to be on your bench this upcoming weekend for a couple of reasons. First of all, he's going up against a good Giant pass defense. This pass defense is allowing some of the lowest yardage totals in the NFL as far as passing yards go by an offense. They're definitely holding passing offenses down. They're getting some picks. They're obviously getting after the quarterback with that ferocious pass defense. So I don't think he's going to be able to have success throwing the ball through the air in this game against that Giant pass defense. Also, you look at his situation and you look at the pass rush he's going up against. He's an older quarterback. He's coming off a slight concussion in Week 8. He's going to play this weekend, but still he's a little banged up coming off of Week 8 where he was sacked 8 times against the Oakland Raiders, and he's going up against a pass defense that's knocked out numerous quarterbacks this year. Now, I would usually say that's a fluke because obviously defenses, don't get into a routine of knocking out quarterbacks on a week-in, week-out basis, but the Giants have done it so much this year, and Hasselbeck is such a prime candidate to get knocked out that it's definitely a possibility, and you have to factor that in when considering starting Hasselbeck or putting him on your bench. I definitely think you need to put him on your bench for a variety of reasons, most of which is that he might not finish the game, which is obviously something you can't have from your fantasy quarterback. So those are my start sits at the quarterback position. A couple of things you want to check out on RotoExperts.com. Of course, our email and live advice feature. You also want to check out our exclusive Edge package, now available at a reduced rate. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @RotoExperts, and you can follow me at Twitter. My exclusive personal Twitter handle is RotoExperts_TC. Until next week, everybody, have a good weekend. Good luck with your fantasy football team, and we'll check you out in Week 10.